Good evening, everyone, and welcome to what is the final round of Season 6 for Raceface GT3 ACC Championships. We are on Suzuka this evening, a night race. Thank goodness this track is quite well lit up. And in the commentary box with us this evening, again, Mr. Patterson, welcome.
Gareth, good evening, and hello to everybody out there. Thanks for letting me back in tonight. Great to be here and looking forward to an exciting race at Suzuka, and even double time, it's a night race, providing even more entertainment for both us and all the spectators and visitors on the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. I tell you, I've, as mentioned before we came on air, there's quite a lot of Suzuka events floating around at the moment. One is this weekend at 24 hours, so I've been around this track quite a lot recently, testing out tire temperatures and pressures and all those lovely things, let me tell you. And Suzuka on a hot day will catch you off guard. This one, of course, is at night, so I'm sure these guys have gone and made sure that they've got the right pressures and they've tested everything that they needed to. But this particular track, it's very similar to, for me at least, Kaulami's little bends and shifts. As you come up those S curves, if you don't get your weight right through there, you're going to have problems all evening. And if your tires aren't right, you're going to have problems.
Exactly. It's a big timing track. You've got to have the car set up right, and you have to approach it with the correct racing line, because one corner leads onto the next, and it carries on for 5 or 6 in a straight in a sequence. So you're 100% correct. It's an important track to have a good setup, good knowledge of the track, and it's a tremendous driver's track as well. Certainly requires some good skill and some good knowledge on how the track works. Also, I think one of a handful only on the planet of essentially a figure of 8 type track that exists and is raced on. Okay, it's not a perfect figure of 8, but it has an overpass.
Okay, well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's one thing we have noticed is the tire pressures and also the wear is pretty equal on both sides. Yeah.
Yep. And as you say, this is it's like the Circuit of Americas. It's got 3 very definitive different sectors in one circuit. You've got huge high speeds involving 130R and the overpass, and then also the long main straight. You've got some very quick technical sections, snaky, the first sector, as you know, through turns 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and onwards. And then you've got the fast high speed sweeps and curves going through Spoon down at the back end and the bottom end of the circuit. So yeah, this circuit will test every different driver out there.
Absolutely. I mean, during our practice sessions, we've had the fortune of having some really experienced drivers join the fold. And one of the things that was commented from their side was the fact that this is one of the few tracks that has everything in it. If you think of every corner, every type of straight, everything that you would want to practice and get used to in a car, you have it on this track. So what a great track to finish off the season with.
It is. If you look at, for instance, the GT3, the Intercontinental Championship, when it runs normally, it's held on 5 rounds, and it's supposedly arguably the 5 best tracks on the planet. And that's Bathurst, Spa, Kaulami, Suzuka, and then whichever one they choose from America, Laguna Seca or Indianapolis. So unfortunately with COVID, that's been eliminated. So we've only had 3 rounds this year, but like you said, this track, similar to Spa, has every different kind of a corner, radius, compounded curve, high speed, hairpin, long straight, chicane, everything in one track.
Talking about radius, and I only heard this today, I don't know if you knew it, but do you know where 130R got its name from?
The radius.
The radius of 130.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, the old configuration of some sort. I was like, because I could never figure out, the guys spoke about 130R. I'm like, where the hell does 130R come into this corner?
Yeah, it's a legendary corner. I mean, it's Old James Hunt used to talk about it feverishly, and you had to have big cojones to go around 130R flat out in an old Formula One car.
Right.
Yep. Right. So here we go. We're just under 17 minutes of quali, and Luke Addison is at the sharp end of the stick by over half a second already. So he is exercising his skills with the Aston Martin. Ryan Ottens, and look at the top 4 positions are all Aston Martins, with Bego Krobler, the first of a different model, in 5th place in the Bentley. So the Aston's clearly showing preferential handling capabilities here tonight at Suzuka.
Great to see. It just gives us a little bit more comfort in the right choice of car for the weekend.
Yep. Keegan Masters also not too far off the big V8s with his Porsche in 7th place. And then Lionel Clue in his Audi. So a good 4 or 5 manufacturers in the top 10, which is always a good thing.
And in the top 10 at this stage, 9 of them are sub 2. That is crazy.
So very, very close lap times. Luke Addison, last lap of 158.8. So that is quick. I mean, he's the only guy in the 58s at the moment. He's got this. Yeah, he's got it very sorted. We've got the McCulls here tonight as well. Junior currently sitting in 8th. He's a good second off the pace in the 80K Mercedes. And Morgan McCall in 12th, 1.2 seconds back. And who else of note is down?
I suppose it might also be worthwhile bringing up our ballast chart.
Oh, ballast chart, yes.
Daniel Rose sitting with 32 kilos. I mean, that's nothing to laugh about.
Yep.
Junior McCall sitting with 24. And was that King sitting with 28?
Yeah.
Being the highest.
King 28, and Luke Addison at the front end with 20 kilos, and he's still a good 2/10 quicker than everyone else. Tariq Adam currently down in 14th place. He's got 16 kilos on board, and then also Bego Krobler carrying additional weight, 12 kilos, and he's carrying it well in 6th place. So, no, I beg your pardon. No, I'm right. Yes, 6th place. Going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
It's also the top 6 in the championship standings for the Drivers' Championships. That's up for grabs with a whole lot of permutations, which unfortunately we can't work these out live because one involves the result of 5 other ones. But pretty much the top 6 drivers at the moment all do stand a chance, apparently, of winning this Drivers' Championship. So it's all to race for tonight.
It's been some really close racing over the span of the season.
I think that's also a good thing, Gareth, because you don't have a dominating driver. You know what I mean? You've got at least a handful, 3, 4, or possibly a few more that can win a series, which goes to show there's a big evening up of skill, and the guys are getting a lot closer up at the top of the grid.
Absolutely. But from a team perspective, Hybrid's still obviously dominating all over the place.
Oh, yes, yeah. Speaking of, we're currently watching the Bentley of Johan Bego Krobler as he snakes through the first sector. Aerial view of this, it's an incredible shot. You can clearly see there's one very specific line all the way through the sector. Yeah, we break out of sector 1 now into sector 2, and immediately the corners and the radius and everything changes. You get a very sharp right-hand kink, then you get an even sharper, tight another right-hand as you go now under the subway, and you head towards one of the sharpest corners, being the hairpin. And the hairpin is now leading back down to the bottom end of the track to Spoon. And again, you know, everybody and anybody that wants to race a very good track, this is one of them. Yeah, we just switched to Junior McCall as he piles on the gas coming over the start-finish line. He's in 9th. And that lap of 1:59.9. So quick lap times, but a good couple of seconds off the pace. I see Masters in the Porsche has bumped himself up into 2nd place. So some improvement coming from Kevin Masters.
I think as we come into the last 10 minutes, the guys would have kind of found their lines, found their feet, got their tires up to pressure, maybe went in once or twice to readjust, who knows. But as we get closer to this last 10 minutes, we will see a bit of a shuffle. Because I can imagine Tariq, I anticipate he'll still put in a better lap time. I saw him last night putting in sub 2 numbers. So he should be trying to do the same again tonight.
He is currently just arriving at the little hairpin, and he looks like he's about 3.3. He's now 4/10 up on his lap, sitting down in 15th place. So this already is going to improve him if he can get it all the way around to the start-finish line. Heading into Sector 3 now, which is the high-speed section. He's going through the double left-hander and Spoon. On the screen, we're currently watching Luke Addison, I believe. Yep, as he starts another lap. And I will keep you updated on Tariq Adams. He's now heading up the long back straight and towards 130R. And he's 6/10, half a second up now. Right, we're on board with him as he comes to the last chicane and negotiates this as accurately as he can. Quick right left, and then on the gas, he threw away about 2/10 there, but this lap is going to be a quicker lap for him. In 15th, he's going to go up to 10th. So 5 position change for him right there.
Well, there we go. There's his sub 2. But even with that pace, look at how many sub 2s he's got to contend with. Top 12 now is sub 2.
Yeah, guys are all quick here for sure. Also, just want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody on the YouTube channel. Good evening. I see Martin Jabez there. How are you, Martin? Johannes Kreiling's on board. Great to have you here, chap. Going to be a good night's racing tonight at Suzuka. And as you say, Gareth, the top end of the stick, there's a bunch of people now very close and closing up all the time. Addison still holding on to pole, currently sitting in the pits with the 158.8. As we see Tariq bail out of that lap and go back to the pits. Morgan McCall jumps up into first place right there, 158.683, and that's pole for the ATK Mercedes. We didn't see that lap, but he just snuck that in right now, and we're just under 9 minutes left of this quali.
Unfortunately, Mr. Greiling sitting in the stands with his popcorn, just chilling, as he has a quali ban. Thanks for that little update there, Mr. Greiling.
But he is going to be racing just now. It's just a quali ban.
That is it.
Awesome.
That is it.
Hey to Ryan Broomer, or Bromer on the YouTube channel. Good evening. Right, Morgan McCall's in pole at the moment. He's here or there, pretty much dead. Okay, he's just bailed out of the lap. He was on a 0 delta there, so it was pretty much nearly a quicker lap. Paul Gerber in 7th place. He's just going through the first sector. Paul Gerber in one of the Honda NSXs. And he is currently up by about a tenth and a half. So going through the timing section, and this Honda is running well.
He's definitely shown what can be done in that Honda this season.
Yeah. Whoops. Junior McCall down in 11th place. He's going through Spoon now, and he's about to hit the long back straight and head up towards 130R. And he's 7/10 up on his lap, so he's going to improve from 12th place.
Probably into 4th.
Yeah, this will be a big jump. hammers it through 130R. Awesome corner. That would be amazing to watch. Then hard on the brakes here for the final chicane. The big Ferris wheel, very famous at Suzuka. And he's dropped to 10th, but he's still over half a second up. So this is going to improve Junior McCall from 12th. Up he goes to 4th. Great lap there. A
1:59.325.
325. So there we go. Another sub 2 minute. Everyone's in the 159s at the moment. Paul Gerber on his way around in the Honda. He's on the start-finish line, and he is 2.5 tenths up. In 9th place, he's going to improve up to, he goes to 7th. Watching Junior McCall go through the sector 1 through the windy section and now heading to the middle sector. That corner is extremely difficult. Dagenham curves. That first one is very difficult to get right without running wide.
Scooter having a bit of a flyer, coming in 1.2 seconds, really up on his previous lap. That should shoot him up somewhat.
Yeah, he's a 10th up. He's going to come over. It's a 201. He goes up to 19th, so that's an improvement for Sean Scooter. A 201.6. Tina Nkube is up well here. Tina Nkube is always just run wide through Spoon in the Audi. I think that might have invalidated his lap. It's still showing him he's now half a second up on his Delta, but I'm convinced he ran out of bounds there. We'll have to see when he gets to the line. He was running actually quite well at Paul Ricard for a period, and then I think he had a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Might
that.
have just clipped that inside curbing.
Yeah, hit that a little bit too much, and that unsettled. Sure. It's not an easy corner, that. How have you found the track from all your practicing, Gareth?
Well, let me tell you, that corner is fun. Coming out of Spoon, trying to get that double apex, that second one, and getting the right drift through speed is a bit of a challenge. I think the hairpin is a real absolute pain in my rear end because I know I'm vulnerable there, and it's such a tricky corner to try and get. So I mean, it's even this last one here coming into the chicane that Bego Kroll has just gone through. Yes. Just trying to find the right speed to come out, because we're actually laughing during practice last night that I've now become an expert at every single maneuver to avoid that concrete pillar. And every time I came out, I said, okay, that was concrete pillar avoidance technique number 1. Next lap, I'm like, okay, that was number 2, because every time it's different. But it's a lovely track. I do enjoy it. If you get the exits right, and coming up through these S curves, if you get that pendulum that's shifting from side to side right, man, I tell you, it feels good, eh?
Yeah, listen, you have to manhandle a car, and you've got to attack the curbs, and this is a track that you have to attack to actually get the timing right, including that last chicane. You have to take a lot of the curbing and hope the car doesn't get too unsettled. You also need to short shift coming out of that chicane so that you can get a good drive onto the start-finish line. Then you won't pick up any wheel spinning, and that helps for a quick lap here. But you know, when we're sitting here, it's easy for us to commentate and talk about these guys going quick and doing 158 and 159s, and then you think about the international aliens and the capable 156s that I've seen around this track. It's incredible to think that there's still somewhere 1.5 to 2 seconds to be found. That is an absolute perfect line, you know.
Absolutely.
Right, here comes Jason Isherwood over the line. I don't know if he's up or not.
4 tenths, so it should shoot him up somewhat.
Oh, he goes to 6.
Closer to, up to 6. That was a good lap.
So we have 12 cars now separated by 1 second. It is closing up at the top, that's for sure.
You know, that's also the other thing. It's one thing getting these lines when there's no traffic. You get thrown off your line, going up these S curves once, then you're in trouble. And there, as we said, Isherwood unfortunately completely losing it and deciding to inspect the wall.
Right, I'm watching Daniel Rose. He heads down towards Spoon Curve. He was just a 10th up. He's gone back to a flat. No, he is. He's still a 10th up on his delta. So Daniel Rowe could find a little improvement here if he can manage to bring this all the way around for his hybrid academy team. McLaren is super slippery, and he's flat out as he heads up the back straight. And he is a 10th up, so let's watch and see if he can get this round and not. He does. He hangs on to it in 130. Now the fast chicane takes a lot of the first curb and a bit of the second. Looks nice and clean as he exits there, and he is still a 10th up, possibly a 10th and a half. So currently in 7th place. Let's see if he improves here, and he does. He goes up to 5th.
Oh, there we go.
So every little bit helps as we go into the last minute of qualifying, sub 1 minute. And let's see who is on a quick lap anyway. A lot of people still in the pits, but we do have a few that are out at the moment and on track.
And Kube 4/10 up if you can hold this together. See if you can make this last corner again and stay away from the inside curb. Because if you clip your left wheel on that, it is going to unsettle you badly.
Yeah.
And this is also one of those corners, depending on what it is that you're wanting to do post the corner, but either dropping the corner or dropping a gear on that apex, or just lifting the foot and just putting it flat again.
Yes.
But that timing has to be obviously perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Looks like he's still 210, so he lost a bit of speed coming through that last chicane. Or actually, what's it called? Casino Triangle, I believe.
No, I'm not too sure. The chicane, the names?
Correct. Casino Triangle, I believe. I saw a map today somewhere. I think this is one of the tracks I actually know the most names of. And that's again thanks to some of our new team members. I've had to get educated. And there we have it, end of quali. So Morgan McCall and Luke Edison taking the first row. I actually don't know who has the better line, inside or outside, but be it as it may, I think the two of them are going to show us what should be done up front. Second row, Keegan Masters and Bago Hrobler. Third row, starting off with Mr. Rowe and then Junior McCall side by side. That should be an interesting one.
That should be.
I don't think there's going to be any respect for your elders in this one. Everyone's equal on the track.
That corner is it's Casio Triangle.
Casio, what did I say? Casino. Oh,
yeah,
of course. Sorry, man. I just added an N in there somewhere. N -1.
Right. As we hear the Honda blaring over the line, and Paul Gerber finishes down in 9th. So I think that's it as far as quali goes. Still waiting for 1 or 2 people to just finish, and the timing screen will then advance on.
Yeah, and that first corner is also quite tricky. I mean, the speed that you come in there at, either you can try and take it short on the inside or drift out to the top. But depending on what pressure you have on you, it can be quite tricky.
Yeah, and you have to be. It's got to be very stable going into that corner. Otherwise, you stand a chance of running out wide, or if it's a understeer, lift off understeer kind of slide moment, and then the car gets all sideways as you go through T1. So
that's it. Then you end up inspecting the barrier again.
Close inspection. I think with McCall on the inside of the grid of the starting line, he will essentially be running defensive down to T1. So he should get through there safely. I say should in inverted commas and quotes and everything else. But we'll see what Addison does coming down the side. That Aston does have tremendous speed as well. And pretty much everyone who's somebody on this championship is right there at the moment. Masters in third, Bega Grobler's in fourth, Rowe and Junior McCall in fifth and sixth. So first 3 rows of the grid, it's anybody that you can pick in the drivers' championship.
Absolutely. What a doozy this is going to be.
That's a good way to put it. Right, we're on countdown, 1.5 minutes to go. Guys, just checking all the strategies, making sure everything is in place, everything's right.
From my perspective, I need to replenish the caffeine container.
Awesome. We'll catch up with you in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, absolutely.
Okay. Ryan on the YouTube saying, Antel better not disappoint tonight. Yep, let's see how Mark Antel can do. Currently in 11th with his Ferrari, the quickest of the 2 Ferraris. And the Honda, Geber getting the Honda in at 9th. Tarek and Road, 2 McLarens in 5th and 8th, respectively. So still a good match of manufacturers. Mercedes, Aston, Porsche, Bentley, McLaren. Then Honda, then Ferrari. And then the lone Audi. There's 2 Audis, yeah, and Kubi and Lionel Clue. So good mix of cars tonight. Guys are going to have some nerves going now as they prep to pull off and do their full lap, pace lap. Lights come on. Everyone's about to kick it off, and Morgan McCall will lead them away for the first lap.
I'm sure we're going to see lots of bobbing and weaving, trying to get those pressures up.
Yeah. What is that, by the way? Oh, yeah, 13-degree track temperature. This is going to be a challenge for sure. I forgot to even look at that. I thought it might be a bit hotter than that, but 13 degrees, that's introduced another whole curveball for these guys. Ken A on the YouTube saying, clean first corner, guys. So, exactly. You're not going to win this race in this corner. Just chill, mellow out, and then single file through here, and then get stable, settle down, and then you can start racing.
It's also, sorry to interrupt there, it's also a difficult track to overtake in general though, to be honest, even through the S-curves. If someone ends up losing a bit of traction and you try and cut the inside or outside, I mean, them trying to rectify themselves, it is tricky.
It is. It's a narrow track, and you're right. Plus there's marbles and a whole lot of dirt on the off the racing line, so it's not easy to get by. But this, you also stand a good chance of drivers falling off and not if their focus isn't 100% and you pressurizing somebody through these corners. They're going to be watching their mirrors. They miss their braking marker or a lift marker or a turn marker by whatever, how small a distance you want to call it. That whole corner complex gets thrown into disarray. And if you are challenging and pushing somebody, you can stick your nose in and possibly get up alongside and make a pass stick. But you're entirely correct. It doesn't per se have very easily passable corners. It's a high-speed section, and you're reliant on the drivers making mistakes, or you just having a better setup.
It's a game of patience.
Yep. Stunning looking evening with the stars out, as we can see. Race time is 10 o'clock, I believe.
That's it.
So it's a lovely evening for a motor race.
You've got to love the visuals on this track, especially that Ferris wheel.
You do. It's a beautiful game, make no mistake. I have good chats with my teamie buddy, Chris, and you can extract some amazing pictures and some amazing photos from this thing. It really, really does does do justice. It is a beautiful game.
It's not a game,
Right.
Alan. It is a
Yeah,
simulator.
a sim. Beg your pardon. I'll slap myself on the wrist there.
Thank you.
Cool. Everyone, are we ready? I'm ready. Gareth, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm actually getting butterflies, eh? I think because I know this track so well, I know how much can go wrong,
Exactly.
and how difficult it is to just maintain that kind of pace throughout. So, looking forward to this.
And plus, it's the last race of the season, so everything you can't afford to think of this as a throwaway. Possibly, it's all come down to this race. We're on the wire now. As we get everybody start positioning themselves in double file. Morgan booking everyone up nicely, doing their last hard braking test just to get heat in the brakes.
And that's important. The guys warm the
Very.
tires and they forget to do their brakes. Christian Deploy shouting for Team KSR. Some nice challenges in the team standings this evening.
Here we go. We're right there. And we're off. Green lights. Here we go. And that Aston is going, but Morgan has got the defensive line going down the inside. Edison cuts in behind him. Masters right there as well, but he's also got to cut in behind Edison in the Aston. And they do. Everyone gets around turn one. Great stuff. Just watching a little bit further back, and I can see the whole field has come through. That's
nice and clean.
Awesome. Well done, guys. So, Morgan McCall leads them through the first sector. Addison closely following in second. Masters third. Bega Krobler in fourth. Daniel Rowe and Junior McCall round out the top six. And we go through the Degener curve. They're going under the underpass now to Hairpin. Masters runs a little bit wide there, gives a lot of daylight to Daniel Rowe, who's now looking up the inside. He's fallen back in behind the Porsche, but Keegan Masters was way out on the hairpin. Morgan kind of etching out a little bit of a gap from Luke Addison. Coming up to 130 off for the first time. Everyone flies through there. Tell you what, I'm just watching Junior McCall in seventh, all over the back of Bega Krobler, but Bega holding his line as he comes into the chicane. So no real challenges happened at all that I could see on the first lap. Everyone's kind of been very safe and sound. And there we go, lap one under the belt, guys.
That's it. I think they're very cautious of those tires. I mean, with that temperature, they would have probably had to have gone down to about, well, below 25 bar or PSI. So first lap is critical that they just keep it easy, get those tires nice and warm, and after the second or third, once they get comfortable, then they can start pushing again.
Exactly. And Junior McCall is doing just that. He had a very serious look down the main straight. He had a huge draft on Bega Krobler. Bega just hammered the door closed, and Junior had to lift and back out of it. But he's followed him all the way through Sector 1 very closely. We've got a McLaren in big trouble here. That's one of the Hybrid Academy cars. That is, in fact, Daniel Rowe. Now, what is going on there? No, it's not Daniel Rowe. I beg your pardon. I will tell you who that was now.
Tariq. He's also in the McLaren. Did you see someone go off?
No, maybe I didn't. I'm sorry. It was just a different line. I thought somebody had run onto the rough, onto the grass, but no, they are still in position. Okay, my mistake. I beg your pardon.
I think with all the sparks flying in at night, it looked like a mini explosion.
Yeah. Your screen is. I had a whole bunch of pixelation going on there, and it looked like somebody was off. But no, we're good.
So Rose staying quite close onto Masters' tail. The two real-life teammates, of course.
Yep. Gareth, possibly you want to just hit your HUD button 1 or 2 or 3 times just to get the tower. There we go, and there we go.
Perfect.
Right. So, all's good so far. McCall, Addison, Masters, Rowe, Krobler, and Junior McCall, top 6. Tariq Adam hanging in there in 7th. Following Junior as they go through first sector. Then a bit of a gap back to Ryan Ottens in 8th. King 9th and Mark Antel in 10th. Antel has improved. He qualified in 11th. I think he went past Radloff somewhere. So Mark Antel currently in 10th. Radloff down in 11th. Lionel Clue in 12th. Eugene van Locherenberg in 13th place in his Bentley. Etienne Kleb with him in his Bentley in 14th. Greyling 15th in his Merc. Skitter in the Ferrari in 16th. And Kubi in the Audi 17th. Gerber, Henneberry in the Lambo, the lone Lambo. And then Hall in his Bentley with Jason Isherwood. Both of them in the pits. There might have been some dramas at the back end of the grid or in the middle of the grid that we never saw, but they're both in the pits, I believe.
Dwayne Hall and Isherwood, looks like they are.
They're both in and parked up, and hopefully they're repairing and doing a pit stop. Otherwise, and not, this hasn't been a retirement, but we shall see shortly. Right. Morgan McCall stretching his legs, 1.8 seconds up the road already from Mr. Addison. So he's struggling with the pace. Masters, however, is 2/10 off the back. He's right there as they go through the final chicane. So Keegan Masters in the Porsche pushing very hard, and he's got an excellent drive. He's going to be all over this Aston when they get down to T1. Yeah, there the car's coming out the pits. So Hall and Escher would have pitted early and done. You can see the green boxes at the, next to their names.
Interesting. I wonder if that was planned.
Very interesting. So long stretch for them at 1 hour 13 to go, but it can be done. It's just, can the tires hold on? Now we're watching Masters pushing hard, trying to hang on, and definitely pressurizing Addison. He's right there, but he's also going to get a lot of error wash being that close through these curves, and that's going to give him a bit of a problem to hang in. But they hammer through Dagenham 1, now through Dagenham 2, and look at this look at this. Oh, he actually lifted there. I thought he was going to be next to him, but he actually lifted. So he's waiting for the right opportunity.
I suppose he didn't want to go and compromise himself in that hairpin, which can be tricky at the best of times.
Yeah.
He's definitely making himself known in those rearview mirrors.
Yeah. Oh, he had a huge little tank slap as he goes through the first half of Spoon there.
And that section of Spoon, what I've done to myself is on the right hand side, that's my gear down from third to second. If your tires are on that rumble strip on the side and you gear down, you're in trouble. It causes problems.
Right, so Keegan's dropped off a little bit. He's going to gather himself up and come back for another charge. Looking where else we have some close racing. There's close racing. You can see that. Yep.
Oh dear, and as we come in, the same mistake he made during quali. Clipped the inside tires. Yeah,
Okay,
brakes, belt, brakes.
Thankfully,
That was
no one was
unfortunate.
there. Yeah.
Hope he wasn't listening to the commentary and got derailed.
That is so commentator's curse, Gareth. That's you. I get nailed for that all the time on my league. So that one was you. You went to him. He spun off. You hit him with the laser sight in his eyes. You blinded him.
That's it. We'll take it on the chin. Sorry, Mr. Ngube. Krayling now sitting in 15th after not doing a qualifier, so he's out there keeping himself busy.
Yeah, Krayling doing well, circulating pretty much on his own at the moment, but in a safe 15th and hanging on. I'm watching further up ahead as Masters has got back up to the back of Addison as they head down towards Spoon. Second and third, and he's going to have another go at this Aston. So Addison is now going to, we're going to see what his metal's made of in withstanding the pressure again from Keegan Masters, who comes through Spoon. He seems to have a very stable setup for that Porsche, even though it's a very twitchy car, but he's doing well here. Gets a huge draft as he piles up. What is going on up ahead? That was an overtake happening there. It's Morgan McCall. So, okay, these guys are catching up to either Isherwood or Hall, who came out the pits.
Oh dear.
Keegan.
Oh, that is going to hurt.
That is. Oh.
I'm pretty sure his crew chief is telling him box. That's for sure.
I mean, he arrived at such a pace up the back of that Aston, and he lifted, I think, and it just went left, right, and that was the end of that. It turned itself around, and he's carried on. So he's going to be carrying some nose damage. He'll probably have some light flickering going on when he brakes for corners. But that was very bad luck for Keegan Masters. He drops down to 7th. And we also have Lionel Clue in the pits, so another early pitter in his Audi. So that now has Morgan McCall out by 2.5 seconds from Addison, with Rowe now promoted up into 3rd place, and big 1 gap seconds all the way back down to Keegan Masters, who is now being attacked by Ryan Ottens, and Ottens goes round him through the windy section. So Keegan's taking a lot of strain. As we see on screen, Paul Gerber having a huge problem in his Honda. Oh no, sorry, he
just overtook Antle.
Yes,
Antle had a bit of a slip and slide.
Beg your pardon, watching the wrong screen again.
No stress. The three of them going into T1 had a bit of an interesting three-way side-by-side, which unfortunately Antle came out 3rd best.
Right, under the overpass and into the hairpin. And I can tell you with my eye on the other monitor, old Masters has definitely hurt himself in his car handling. He is struggling, so he should be coming into the pits.
I would imagine he would.
He's got headlights flashing, and he's got Radloff in 10th place, now passing him easily up the back straight. So,
well, watching his times, it's just he's down 8 seconds already. I'm just seeing it ticking up. 7.8, 8 seconds. No, that's some serious damage there.
He's gone through 130R very wide on the off runoffs completely, and Van Lochrenberg's just gone past in his Bentley. So
yeah, I'd imagine he would definitely be pulling it now.
He is.
Yes, that's it. You'll get that out of the way then.
There's going to be a bit of repair to be done. Hopefully he doesn't speed. He came in there at a huge rate, but best thing you can do, sir, I'm afraid, is go and get that repaired. Right, we're 1 hour 7 minutes left, and Morgan McCall comfortably up the road by 2.8, almost 3 seconds from Addison. Daniel Rowe into 3rd place, a further 2.5 seconds back, and then Bego Grobler up into 4th. So Tariq Adam in 6th. So if I think back now, what were we talking about the Drivers' Championships? It was between Bego Grobler and Daniel Rowe, realistically.
Well, the top 6 drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can have a look at that quickly.
Bit of a battle of the Bentleys here between and a Merc. In between them, so you've got 2 Astons, a Merc, 2 Bentleys between Ottens all the way down to Kleb. But these 3 here, Ottens, King and Radloff, keeping each other busy.
Yep.
some pressure on. Does he drop back a bit? No, Gerb is still putting a fair amount of pressure on Skitter.
Right, so currently Morgan McCall leading, but he's 16th overall in this series. So he even winning this race, he won't get up near the front row of the grid, but that is going to throw a curveball for everybody else. Luke Addison in 5th place is in 2nd place on the track, so he's in it to win it. And then Rowe, who is 2nd on the list on the championship, and Bago, who is 4th on the track and 1st on the championship. So you can kind of get an idea. It's not going to be an easy thing for us to work out, and I don't think you can do it live on air. It's going to have to wait for a whole lot of other things, including any possible incidents. But yeah, bottom line, these guys need to stay on the track and finish in the top 5. There's no other way to put it.
And hopefully get some additional stuff like fastest lap.
Yeah. Pick up an additional
that
point.
could assist.
Right, I tell you, in 6th place, Tariq Adam is right on the back of Junior McCall. They've just gone through the hairpin and they're heading down towards Spoon. And Junior is definitely going to be feeling this pressure all the way up that back straight. And just ahead of Junior, he's not far off the back of Bago Krobler's Bentley. But Tariq is now pushing, as you can see. He carries a lot of mid-corner speed in the McLaren. He's in the draft right now, and they're hammering it up towards 130R.
And I'm no slipstream expert, but I'd imagine that McLaren behind that size Merc is getting towed always.
Yeah. Bentley's kind of, what is the, oh, that car goes straight through. Who is that?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
I think that's Van Lachrenberg.
Hall.
Oh, it's Hall. Okay, 19th. So, good man. Let's just keep out of the way because leaders are coming through, and he did good. But Junior hanging on and managing to hold this gap between him and Tariq Adam as they come down into turn 1 and start the first sector. It's the rhythm section now.
Here you'll actually see the weight shifting as they throw the car from one side to the other.
It's a great section to watch like this.
And this last little left bend here, you also got to come off the accelerator,
Yeah,
and if you just got to get it at the right time. Too early and you throw yourself outright quite drastically, and trying to recover from that is a mission.
It is. Super impressive with the race skills of Junior McCall. You've got to think about it. That's a 11 or 12-year-old kid in that white Mercedes, and he certainly knows his business around the track and braking points and racing lines.
That's it. Definitely a bright future in racing.
Definitely. And out of the hairpin, he manages.
Sitting right on, or was 1/10.
Yeah.
On Krobler. Bago Krobler.
Well, he is. You're right. So that was also just as they went through that sector. It's at the end of the the exit of the hairpin where they inevitably are quite close. But even Junior pulls a good long gap out from the McLaren once they've left the corner, and as does Bago Krobler from Rowe. So there we can see Rowe hammering over those curves, which you have to. You've got to attack them to be quick through there.
Yeah, so Bago Krobler taking that 3rd spot away from Rowe, which is what we landed up missing there.
So Rowe's last lap at 2:02.7 versus Bago Krobler 2 flat 20.480. So he was a good 2.2 seconds quick on that lap.
That's still with the weight of the fuel load. Although you
Yep.
don't know what the strategies are, I think that's going to be quite interesting. Come the 40-minute mark, 45-minute mark, see who pits in. Isherwood going in early. I'm not quite sure if that was actually a planned pit stop or an unscheduled pit stop, as they say, thanks
Yeah.
to the greeting of a wall of some sort.
Yeah. Maybe possibly a quick repair, and then we might as well do it now and get it over and done with. I agree. So here you can see this is where they're very close, the exit, and in the distance in the background you can see Tariq Adam right behind Junior McCall, also going through the hairpin. Now the Bentley manages to pull a gap out as they head down towards Spoon. Cannot put a foot wrong anywhere here because, and Junior just does. He had that Merc all over that rumble strip and it was sideways, and that's allowed Tariq Adam to close in. So he's now right in the draft, and Junior's going to be watching his mirrors. I'll tell you what, like you said, that Spoon curve, you've got to drop a gear in between the two of them, and if you're in the wrong place and the car's not settled, you're going to get into trouble. Good lines, both of them through that chicane. And down onto the start-finish line. They're starting lap 10. And Tariq definitely a lot closer. And I believe he's flashing. He's showing his intention, that's for sure.
Nothing like a little bit of mind games before coming in for the killer move.
Yep. Ken A on the YouTube, correct. Rowe lost third. We did miss that, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But, Tariq. You've gone away from him, but you want to see how close he is now in sixth place.
Sure.
He's actually managed to get the car up the side of Junior, so Junior's now got to run a defensive line through the first Degener. That pushes him out, and Tariq now, he wanted to. Now he's run a little bit deep through the second one, and Tariq comes up the inside, and that pass is done. That shows you how that works with the added pressure. Junior's going to have to hang on and then push back. The Mercedes clearly very fast in a straight line. But Tariq taking no prisoners, and the gap was there. He stuck a nose in, and it was done. Yeah,
that's it. That bit of pressure behind you going through those bends, you just lose your focus on one of those little points where you need to shift your weight, and again, you're in trouble. You struggle to bring it back.
Watch this Merc pull now as they go up the back straight towards 130R. I'm not saying the McLaren's slow, but he could pull away from the McLaren when he was ahead of him. So he is looking. Depends on how they come through 130R, and they're all good. Now into the final chicane. Looks good through there, and off they go down onto the start-finish line. So position change, but I think Junior's going to be pushing as hard as he can. Look there, you can see now. Look how he closes in for turn one.
Sure.
Tariq got to run defensive up the inside, and Junior has to try and go around the outside. He can't make it round there. Pulls back in, and they single file through T1 and T2.
What a great exit he got out of
the chicane.
That last chicane. Casio triangle, far away from the casino.
This section is where Tariq showed his car setup and his skill. He came through here when you were watching the other cars. He was right under the Mercedes wing as they came.
And he just waxes that again.
Corner. So yeah, he's got sector one very well set up in the McLaren, and into Degener, there's already a bit of daylight between him and Junior as they head out of Degener 2 and up to the hairpin.
We jump into Van Ochtenberg from BWR, sitting quite close here behind King, putting on a bit of pressure.
Yeah, King in the Aston, and he's watching his mirrors, and it's full of big Bentley. the Black Widow racing car. And not too far back again from Eugene is Johannes Kralin, who's up into 10th now. And he's having a good dice. Oh, no, sorry, he isn't. That's one of the past cars. I think it's Dwayne Hall that's with him. So Eugene and company going through 130R. And that Aston had to take 2 takes at that corner, and he ran wide there. That's going to introduce a first track warning, I'm sure, because you cannot go that far out without getting a track warning at that speed. So we've got to also keep that in mind. You do that 40 many times and you're in for a drive-through.
That's it. You got to keep your eye on that. There's a couple of places you could drift off.
That turn 1, turn 2, it's also very tricky, complex to get the car right, set up, and get through there properly. Now you can see the Aston's not exactly on the right line, so he's struggling to get the car to get to the apex, whereas the Bentley is easy on the apex. Etienne Kleb, his Bentley.
Decides to back off on that corner. Compromised his line somewhat going through that whole section.
Yeah, you could see it happen, and he ran very deep through the second egg, and that's it. You've got to lift. He was on his way to meet that and inspect that barrier, as you put it. It's given Christopher Radloff a bit of a breathing room.
That it has.
What it's done is it's allowed Paul Gab in his Honda to close in on the back of Etienne Kleb now. Right, 53, just under 54 minutes to go of this race. Morgan McCall out in the lead, and starting lap 13, easily managing the gap here. 2.7 seconds up the road from Luke Addison in second, with Johan Bego Grobler in third, Daniel Rowan fourth, and Tariq Adam in fifth place. The two Hybrid Academy McLarens in fourth and fifth. As we watch Eugene van Lochenberg come over the line now.
Interesting how we saw during quali all the Astons right at the top, and as the race goes on, in the top 5 we have one Aston.
That's true. I remember watching, it wasn't too long ago, it was about a month ago, one of the Alien live streams on YouTube. And it was a big, it was a 24-hour event from Spa. And Jardine and everybody was in that race, including Nils, and it was all the main protagonists. And the top 7 cars halfway through the race were Aston Martins. 7 of them.
Oh, right.
It was unbelievable. The BM of Nils was like 15th or 16th at that point in the race, but everybody chose an Aston for Spa, and they were all on point that night. All right, Eugene van Lochenberg, we're watching this. Trying to go around the outside there. Bernard King maintaining his racing line in the Aston, and he carries on down towards Spoon. Eugene's seriously working out where and how, what to do to get back, to get by. And while that's all going on, there comes Kralin right behind in the Honda. Sorry, in the Mercedes.
That 53 is actually Isherwood sitting right on
the back of Van Lochenberg. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's these leaderboards, eh? They tend to mess you around. You don't know who's on track and which one's the actual position.
Yes.
And all the excitement, one gets caught up. So we have the bottom 4 that have gone through the pits. Radloff, Masters. Wouldn't necessarily say that too much position changes would happen once others go into pits, but they should be able to get themselves at least back to the mid-pack somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, as long as they have a clean race, they're in open traffic, or most of them are. Radloff in 17th, he's all on his own as he heads down towards Spoon. Keegan Masters following suit, he's about 6.6 seconds back. And then Isherwood, but Isherwood's right in amongst this race with Van Lockerenberg, as we can see on the track. And he could just hang around with them as long, I doubt they're slaying him up, but when they go in the pits, he's going past. Well, he's unlapping himself, let's put it that way.
That's always a good thing.
It is. It's the whole aim, to try and go up the grid. Some great camera angles in this game, and we're looking backwards, or we were from Beacons.
We were, just a brief moment.
It's all good, it's all good. I'm just going to make sure everything's still all kosher on the rest of the grid.
Oh, slightly compromised as he comes out of Spoon.
Oh, look at that. Side by side. Well, guess who's got the right of way going 130R?
Oh.
Yeah. They both ran wide, but the Bentley was on the inside, so he was always going to get that done. Jason Isherwood sitting there watching all of this transpire.
Licking his chops.
Yeah. Good pass.
Good pass. Licked it, sticked it, and sent it.
Yeah, this currently is the, besides Radloff down at the bottom, in 17th, this is the closest dice on the track at the moment between King and Kralin.
Action right behind them too. Just trying to see if that is clear behind Kralin.
Yeah, yeah. 18 Klebs a little bit ways off, but Kralin in his Mercedes, he is 9/10 off the back of B King. And Bernard King, although he's going to look and see if he can hang on to the Bentley of Van Lockerenberg, he's also now got to watch his mirrors because Kralin's there. So
right on them.
Yeah, you can't even take a break, you can't. There's always something going on, and you always need to be on top of your game here. All right, looking up ahead, Daniel Rowe and Bega Krobler. What has happened here? Okay, so we had nothing. Daniel Rowe's just closing in. He's 9/10 off the back of Bega Krobler as they go into Sector 1. So Rowe's putting his foot down, and he is trying to close the gap on... and there's B King into the pits. So from 9th place, coming into the pits, as we've seen Kubi come through 130R in his Audi, just hangs on to it. And that Ferrari of Mark Antel's right there.
I'm sure Kubi is quite nervous going through a corner. He hasn't had the best of luck, so...
yeah. He's hanging on, he's white-knuckling that steering wheel. Right, so here we are with Rowe looking at the Bentley of Bega Krobler. This is 3rd and 4th, and this gap down to 6/10. So Daniel definitely starting to push, and I think Bega Krobler can feel the pressure. 46 minutes, so we're heading into pit stop zone if you're on a 50-50 strat. It's going to happen in the next couple of laps. And we'll see who blinks first. Oh, those looked like they were a little bit wide on the exit of Spoon.
Just a bit, but he seems to be gaining again. Got a good exit. Even with that slip.
Hard on the brakes, and look how he closes up on the Bentley. You can kind of see that literally half the car's going over that green rumble strip, Gareth. You can see how hard you've got to hammer that chicane curbing to get a fast time through there.
No, that's it. I've actually found going through there in second, also some great advice from some team members.
Yes.
Going through there in first, it's problematic. If you can get the timing right to drift through there in second, and like you said, you've got to chow as much of that curb as possible without obviously invalidating a lap. But it is tricky because just coming into it, you've effectively got to go a hell of a lot slower than you would ever imagine and slowly drift into it. But the amount of speed you come out with by doing it right it's incredible.
Yeah, look, most of the guys are obviously jamming it down to first and using engine braking for the first right-hander, but you short shift in between the two corners and then you're in second so that you don't spin it up and exit. You carry as much momentum out of that chicane. So,
okay, thank you. I shall practice that this evening and tomorrow.
Yeah, give it a go. The first gear for additional engine braking definitely helps you to stop from the 130R straight. So,
now do you go over that first little chicane in first and then do a quick shift?
Yeah, you're pretty much changing gear as you're going through the first right-hander, so that you're not over-revving the engine and you can carry that momentum through. So just go and see. It might help.
Yeah.
What car are we in, by the way?
Aston.
Okay.
Aston.
Let's go and see. Yeah. Got a lot of talk and a lot of grunts, so it should do well through there.
I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Right, so Rowe, 3/10 off the back of Bago. He is there and thereabouts, and should Bago make a little mistake anywhere, Daniel Rowe's going to pounce.
Oh, what had happened there? That's Morgan coming through. I think it was a back marker that he went past there.
Okay.
Rowe staying very tight here on Bago Grobler.
Yeah, Luke Addison having an extreme. There we go. Tariq Adams in the pits from 6th. Or from 5th. So McCall's just gone through. So Tariq's the first of the fast guys to pit. Or blink. Whatever, however you want to put it. As is Nkubi. Nkubi's in for a second pit, which is just exited. So I think he picked up some damage somewhere.
Possibly, because he generally pushes till the late stages of the session before pitting.
Yeah. Your picture at the moment looks like a mosaic bathroom tile setup.
It does?
Yeah, for me.
Does it look a little...
No, on your Discord, yeah.
The
right. YouTube looks perfectly, but I think it's because we're going in and out with so many channels here. It's just, I can hardly make out. I can just see that it's with the red over Baker Grobler who you're watching there. Anyway, it's all good. I'm following you suit on my side, so I can keep up.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, we're good.
Just keep us updated if we need to improve that quality somehow.
No. That's between you and me. The YouTube channel's crystal.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, I suppose.
That's it. Our guests watching online, and they're getting a nice, clear picture. Even though it's nighttime, you can clearly see what's going on. And here we have Rowe again, very close to the back of Bago Grobler. All right, we've jumped now. Sorry. Let me catch up. And we're on the Honda of Gerber, looking at the back of Etienne Kleb again. No. Is that Krayling that he's with? No, it is Etienne Kleb. Correct.
It is. Correct.
Honda makes an awesome sound as well. It's a great sounding car. And he's closing right up now as they head towards 130R. TTH Racing. Team Tryhard Racing. Ryan Ottens goes into the pits, and we see
and
also
Gerber jumping in with him.
Yeah, Gerber peeling in, and there they got to brake hard. Row very close now. The McLaren seems to get through the windy sections really quickly, as you saw earlier. And I'm sure Baker Krobler is doing everything in his power to maintain the momentum he's got currently in that Bentley. He does, after all, have to finish as high up as possible to hold on to any chance of winning this series.
And Rowe just nudging it closer and closer.
I mean, he's right there. If he can hang on now on the exit of Spoon, he's going to be in the draft of that big Bentley. And the slipstream coming, yeah, you can see. I mean, he carries good mid-corner speed.
Oh, he actually had to slow down.
Yeah. He gets a great drive, and he is...
Perhaps got brake checked by his teammate. Who knows?
I don't think so.
mid spoon. That'll be cruel.
Jeez, that wouldn't be good. Oh, he runs very wide there. So if he didn't lift there, that could be a driver off-track excursion. They come into the chicane, and there we go. Morgan McCall's in the pits from first, and Bago peels off. So here we go. Here start the games. Our leader's in the pits, and Bago's going in with him. Luke Addison inherits the lead, and Daniel Rowe bumps up into second place. The time has come. It's going to get chaotic right now. Let's see who undercuts, who overcuts.
Well, that's it. Until having come out now, you're going to have, when he comes back past that start grid, anyone who comes out in front of him is going to be vulnerable. The tyres are going to take at least 2 laps or so to get where they should be.
Yep.
And everyone from Adam down is going to be ready for the attack.
I've been watching Bago. He nailed his pit stop. The car stopped and it hasn't moved, so he got it right on. And McCall's just exited the pits. So Morgan McCall's rolling, and he has come out in 4th place. That just goes to show what his pace was like. He's full pitted out, and he's in 4th place.
It's crazy.
That's quick.
What those brothers get out of those Mercs.
Okay, he's down to 6 now while the timing screen catches up. So now 7th.
There you go.
Right, I think it's 7th. That's it. So he's the first of the leaders that's out. Bago in 9th behind him, and that gap looks like it's about 8 seconds. Yeah, give or take. So pretty much the whole back end of the grid is pitted, and it's just the front end now that need to pit.
Oh, and as I went on to Addison to see what kind of a lead he can pull, he decides to pull into the pits. So apologies to the fans that he decided to kill our level of excitement, but we'll definitely come back to him again when he comes out to see where
and Daniel Rose in right behind him.
Oh, that is it. So we've got a...
And Junior McCall right behind him. So first, second, and third are all in. I'm watching Eugene van Lochrenberg in 4th. He comes through the chicane. He goes through. So Eugene's going to inherit the lead. And Johannes Kralen goes through as well with him. So he'll bump up to 2nd. Etienne Kleb goes through. He'll bump up into 3rd. And then next up is Morgan McCall. So Morgan McCall's now going to be passing everyone in the pits and going back into his...
should go to 4th then.
4th.
3 places up.
Yep. So we're waiting for Bago, and Bago is now hammering through 130R. He comes up to the chicane, and Addison, Rowe, and McCall are all still in the pits. Addison's rolling. Now Daniel Rose off the Jackson rolling, and Bago Krobler's coming over the start-finish line. Oh, he's going to come out right next to him. we've got Bago right next to Daniel Rose. They go through T1 and T2 just behind Addison. Oh, there was almost contact. So Daniel Rose got the undercut done. And Bago's all over the back of him right now, trying to probably fathom how, in fact, that happened. But it's this close that you can see. And here you can see him looking. He's looking. He's got his nose up next to him, and he's forcing Rowe to run a defensive line, but he dropped in as they go through Degener. Hard braking through the next right and under the overpass. I think he's going to try everything he can out of Spoon to get a good drive going up the back straight, Gareth.
That's it. Trying to keep as close as you can in these little sections here, not necessarily overtake. Again, it's a game of patience. I think if you can just stick on the guy in this section, as soon as you come out of Spoon, if you get the right pace, if you don't, it's also very difficult to try and get next to the guy right at the end as you go into 130R. But
yep.
Let's hope you get something out here.
He comes into the pits from first, so he's dropped in. We've got Ken A now screaming for Luke Addison on the YouTube channel. And here you can see the Bentley now drafting up the back of the McLaren. They go through 130R, all neat and clean, and coming into the braking zone for the chicane. Hunt's trying to work this out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Old Rowe does get a drive through at some point. It seems like he likes scrubbing that outside there.
Yes. You can see he's running down the main straight. Now moves across to the left, and Bago's following him wheel for wheel. Oh, he had to take 2 breaks through there, but he manages to control it. It's a good momentum through T2, and here they go into the rhythm section. So Skitter and Van Locherenberg in the pits. Skitter now in the pits. So it's only the Kreylig and Kleb up in the first and second places to still pit, and then when they go in, Morgan will retain his lead. Luke Addison in second place when the pit happens, and he's only 8 seconds off McCall's time.
Edison's had a pretty good season.
He has.
It's been fairly quick. His qualities have been good. I think he's been unlucky in some of the races, but he's definitely had the pace.
Ken saying on the YouTube he doesn't think Morgan fitted new tires. He's saying Luke was 1.9 behind and then 9.8 when they came out. So, yeah, let's see how that pans out. Right, Kreyling's in from first place, so he'll drop down now. Etienne Kleb continues through, and we're still watching here. Bago looking at the back of Daniel Rowe, and Wago runs very deep on braking. Almost missed his braking point there. He had to take evasive maneuvers to get that Bentley turn.
Rear end evasive maneuvering.
Something like that.
Most important skill in racing.
Got you. Okay. Junior McCall in 7th place, and he's circulating in the white ATK Mercedes. 3 seconds off the back of Tariq Adam. A good couple of 12.5 seconds plus up the road from Ryan Ottens. So Junior out there all on his own and carrying on.
Doing his thing there in midfield. I'm going to switch to... Yeah, there we go. See a bit of pressure on issued. Perhaps Nkube fell back again.
Okay, Gareth, I can tell you Morgan McCall's last lap, he did a 201.6, and Luke Addison did a 159.9. So Luke is pushing hard now in well, third place, but let's say it's second. Well, there we go. Etienne Kleb goes into the pits. So here they go back over the line. This is for first place, and that gap now down to 5.3. Let's see when they get over the line. Yeah, 5 seconds. Luke definitely closing in on Morgan. So Ken possibly right. Maybe Morgan didn't change tires there. Maybe he only took fuel, and he's going to feel it for the second half of this race. He's got 30 minutes, and Luke at this pace is definitely going to close up on him. As we watch Morgan McCall go through the Degana curves. Gosh, the screen. Disconnect and reconnect to it. I'm still here. I'm just trying to refresh the screen quickly.
So Hall doing a great job trying to stay on McCall's tail. So keeping some good pace. I mean, it's two ends of the spectrum here. Morgan McCall in first position, Hall in 18th, but Hall maintaining their pace, keeping on him. Oh, unfortunately, just
runs a bit deep there.
Running the first entry there a little bit deep. Yeah, it's going to struggle to get through there again. I think it would have been good for him to sit on behind Morgan, just to maybe learn some lines.
Yep.
The only thing between Morgan and Addison is, of course, Hall. Don't worry, I won't start with jokes.
Okay, as we watch him come over the line, I will monitor closely these laps. Morgan rolls over, and this is a 201.5. And Luke does a 159.7. That gap down to 3.2 seconds. That was, wow, 1.8 seconds on one lap alone, Gareth.
The charge is on.
The charge is on. Yeah, Luke is arriving now, and he is flashing already. And that Bentley is looking a little bit squiggly of Hall. He has moved over nicely, and that's allowed Luke to get through without any pain whatsoever. And he carries on. So the race is on for first place at this rate. Krobler and Rowe, well, they're still half a second apart and circulating identically. Daniel Rowe managing to hold off the charge from Bega Krobler. And then the only other dice is Van Lochrenberg on the back of Ryan Ottens for 7th and 8th place, as well as Gerber on the back of Kralin for down in 10th and 11th. But yeah, this Luke Addison drive we're watching with interest.
He's already 7/10 up, 2.5 seconds behind McCall.
So I've got to agree then what Ken's saying on the YouTube channel that I don't think Morgan changed tires. If he did, they have the wrong pressure. There's something not right, and he's not happy with that car at all. Daniela Fourie on the YouTube channel also shouting for Luke. So the man's got some good support here. And this gap now going to be sub 2 seconds. You can actually see in the mirrors of McCall's car, there comes Luke. And it's 1.9 seconds. Morgan did a 201, Luke did a 2.0 flat, so he did have some traffic to get past. That's what held him up a little bit, and that's what I'm going to say.
Well, there's already 6 tenths up again, 1.9 seconds. So, I mean, there has to be something amiss. So, I'm not taking away from Addison's ride. I mean, it's been absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
But he is gaining on Morgan at a rate.
First sector lap time, Morgan McCall 40.7 and Luca 40 flat. So he's 7 tenths up there already.
Right.
Now they're in the middle, and here he's right here. You can see he's on the back of Morgan. It's easy. I think Morgan's got some huge problems with the tires, and he's struggling. 25 minutes, 25 and a half minutes to go, in fact, and it's going to be, in my opinion, 2 laps, and Luke's going to be in first place. I'll give it 2 laps tops.
And not far behind that. I mean, Rowe is 13 seconds behind, and Grobler pushing 4 tenths just behind it.
He is. Grobler's still trying to work this out with the Bentley, and Rowe runs very deep through Spoon, and Grobler's right behind him. I'm just watching them as they come through the exit of Spoon. Rowe had a huge moment through the first part of Spoon there. I'm convinced he was off track, so he must have at least 1 or 2. Here you can see the drive of the Bentley as he closes up under the draft. They go through 130R, and does he continue to push to the chicane? Oh, both hard on the brakes. Carrying momentum through there. I don't know, the McLaren just looks a little bit skittish at the moment, and the Bentley looks very seated.
Well, that's it. With those curbs, those McLarens are tricky to try and keep them stable. As you go back to Addison, who's now literally right on McCall.
Yeah, this is where he's quick through the technical section, the rhythm section. So Morgan struggling with the grip on the Mercedes. That's why he's so much slower through here, and not too bad through the fast, long straight sections. Look at that. Addison's about to come past right here in the corners. He lifts and takes his time. Don't want to throw it away here through Degner 1 and Degner 2. Hard on the brakes as they take that right-hander. And off they go down to the hairpin. Luke definitely going to be passed shortly. So I think Ken on YouTube, I'll give you a bells for nailing that one. Oh my word, Tariq Adam is on YouTube. The game crashed for him, so Tariq is out.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
That's terrible luck, Tariq. Very unfortunate, man. What's up with the game crash? I mean, that's just terrible. Right, here we go. Up the back straight now. And Addison closing in. Addison closing in. This is where the close-in isn't as pronounced as through the corners, because the Mercedes can still deal with this in a straight line. It's when there's a lot of handling involved. So that tells me that he didn't change tires, as Ken said, and I think he's struggling.
That's the worst, trying to keep pressures, degraded tires.
Yeah.
It's a tough game out there.
It's a tough game. He's having a really heavy race tonight, make no mistake. Junior now up into 5th with the demise of Tariq getting disconnected. So Junior goes into 5th, and Baga still chasing Rowe. They're 8 tenths. Now you'll see. Look at the Aston through the windy sections here. It's easy for him to get on the back and to possibly even get next to the Mercedes.
Sure, check that power coming out of that second turn.
See that? Yeah. Morgan having to do a big lift through that right-hander. Yeah, Luke, it's a great drive.
It's just a matter of time.
It's a good dice that we're watching here. Very exciting. Addison trying to work it out. He knows he's got a better handling car. He doesn't have a horsepower car, but he's definitely got the handling. So it's got to be done that involves some element of cornering and then a straight. In other words, getting through Spoon quicker than the Mercedes. Yeah, Tariq, if you are on the YouTubes and still with us, it was exceptional, buddy. The quality, the pace, the speed, it was great to watch, man. Terribly sorry you got horrific luck with this game. Right, 130. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that.
Oh, it ends
Morgan's
up
run
taking
wide.
the inside.
Yep. He had no grip to hang on there, and he ran wide. Holds onto the inside line going into the chicane. Edison's going to get a good drive out of here, or try to get a good drive, and drag him down to T1. And he's right under the wing. This is going to happen. Morgan pulling to the inside. He's going to run defensive all the way down to the apex. Luke's going to have to come out. They both come out to the outside. Carry the pace through. There, he's trying to send it. He had the right idea, but Morgan didn't run wide there. He managed to hold on to that racing line. And off they go for another lap round and through this section. This is going to be frustrating Luke, but he's definitely got the car under him. He's just got to work out how to do it cleanly without there being problems. Vega Grobler still half a second off the back of Daniel Rowe. Here comes Luke. Here comes Luke. He lifts and backs out of it as they go through Degeners.
Freiling also sitting right on
Indeed.
Bernard King. So now, what do you do?
Well, I think this is for the lead, so this is the right dice to watch at the moment.
Absolutely is, but I wanted to just quickly switch through.
That's fine.
And see the contest here between Freiling and King. As the two of them come in through the S-curves. Freiling obviously sporting the Honda. The sole Honda on the track.
Gerber's in the Honda.
That's Gerber, apologies, sitting behind Freiling.
Yeah. And then King just behind him. And as we see then go under the underpass, that was Addison and Morgan going over the top. I'll tell you what happens there. Nothing really. They're going through the chicane and back down the main strut, still in the same position. Now, this three-way dice is quite exciting going on here with these guys, Krayling, Gerber, and King. It's closed up for them. Ryan Brummer on YouTube also saying it's a miracle that Luke hasn't got past yet. You got to give Morgan a bit of credit where it's due. If the car's hurt or the tires are hurt, he's doing his utmost to hold Luke back. His last lap at 2:01.8, Luke doing a 2:01.9, but that's purely because he's behind him. And now he's looking around the last couple of corners through Sector 1. He's very close here as they head towards Degener. He's trying to get his nose in here. The Merc's got huge power as well, so it manages to get a good pull out the corners. Hard on the brakes there, and now heading up to the hairpin. So it's going to be one of those kind of a big lick it and send it moves, possibly. Oh, and he
touches.
Completely outbraked. Yeah, he has stopped and he's going to wait. No, he's going. He is waiting. No, he's waiting.
May just get himself out of the corner, out of the danger zone. That's it.
Good
Giving
stuff,
position.
Luke. Well done, buddy.
Always great to see.
Yeah, it's good gentleman driving. No one's lost any real positions. Daniel Rowe 11 seconds down the road, although it won't be until they go through the next sector. But immediately you can see how quickly he can close up on the back of Morgan. So 17 minutes to go. Morgan's been hanging on here for the best part of 4 or 5 laps since he did his he got back into the lead, and it's clearly obvious he's struggling with that Mercedes. Right, cab in the Honda, looking at Kraylen. Yeah, Ken also outlining that Morgan's not carrying any weight. So that's helping him to get the drive out of the corners. out. The gap to Daniel Rowe from Edison is now down to 2.7 seconds. So they're going to be all over the back of Edison. Yeah, this was after that spin at the hairpin. So they've closed down 18-second or 17-second gap.
Whole new type of pressure.
Exactly the same thing happened. Luke's trying to send it again, coming towards Degener. Backside of it, and they roll through Degener together. They both run a little bit wide. Now heading down towards the hairpin. And you'll literally see Rowe not too far back. There he is. And there's Bago. Yo, this race is now closing up. We've got a 15-minute sprint with 4 cars for first place.
Being expertly defended in the front there by Morgan with some shot tires.
There we can see how Edison carries a little bit more pace through there, but he's being punished with the additional weight and ballast he's carrying. He is in the draft. It's going to come down to a handling issue and being able to get a good drive either in or possibly out of a corner to get this pass done. There's the braking coming up for the chicane. Morgan positioning the Mercedes in the middle of the track. That's given him a hard time racing line through the chicane. Edison's taken a much better racing line. He's close as they come out of the chicane and head down to T1. Is he going to dummy ascend? He's looking. No, it's following him again. That's where he closes up. He carries so much momentum through there. There you can see that's third and fourth, just further back. And here's where Edison is quick through the windy sections here. He closes right up on this next right-hander if you watch now. And I mean,
ACC backed off a bit there. I think he's also possibly a little bit nervous. I think he knows that Morgan's car is a little bit unstable.
Here's where he gets the drive. Pushing hard, heading up to Degen again. And now the sharp right-hander. They both carry through there. You can see Morgan braking a lot earlier than normal. And look how quickly is Rowe coming. They're now 1.5 seconds back. Ono Fasaki also on the YouTube. How's it, Ono? And yeah, this is up to a 4-man dice now. Oh, there's a good... Here we go. Edison got a great drive through there. McCall was struggling, but he's just managed to... Look at the acceleration out of the hairpin. There's flashing again, so he's now giving Morgan the hurry up because traffic's arriving behind them. Right, through Spoon. Again, he's as close as he can be. He can't really go around the outside of the Mercedes because that's not going to help him there. So he literally has to lift and just follow Morgan. Now you can see Morgan running up the left-hand side of the back straight. They'll move across now to take the racing line. And Daniel Rowe's arriving. It's now sub 1 second. Oh, and look, Edison is just sending it up the inside now. And here he is at the chicane.
He decided he's going to chance it.
He is, and he has gone through. And Morgan's now going to get great drive. There's a bit of contact there. And Edison is now in a pile of trouble. Here comes Daniel Rowe in the McLaren. And, this is just going south for him now. That was a desperate send through the chicane. Is he going to hold on to the inside? Daniel Rowe trying to go right around the outside. He's going to have to lift. Surely he's going to have to lift. He does. Sure. Edison pushes him back, and that's it. Now, this is first, second, third, fourth with 12 minutes to go. What a great race we've got on our hands here, guys.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Top 4 on one screen.
I'm sorry, we're not going to watch anybody else now. It's all happening right here. And Edison tried hard. He sent it very wide round 130R and went over the grass to get up the inside of Morgan. But it didn't help him much because he had compromised his racing line, and that allowed Daniel Rowe to close in. And Bago Grobler followed suit. So they're all right there. Edison's got to rethink this. Harry's trying to send it again up the inside of the hairpin. The McLaren's just as close. So besides trying to attack Morgan, he's also now got to defend against Daniel. This is awesome racing. What's going on with Bago? How can he drop so far off the back here? Come on, Johan. All right, there he is. All good. 11 minutes to go. Yes, Morgan has done exceptionally well to hang on to the lead. His last lap was a 202.8. Luke a 203. Daniel a 2 flat. And Johan Bago a 2 flat. So, no question, Morgan struggling. Right, into the chicane. What does Luke do now? He's looking up the inside again.
Sure.
They all come out the chicane, straight nose to tail, and following in each other's slipstream, heading down to T1. I mean, you could flip a coin right now, and you know, who's going to win this race?
You could barely fit a coin between those cars.
Exactly, but we're not even sure at the moment who. Well, we do. I mean, for obvious reasons, Morgan being in the front of the queue, but Luke has done really well to control himself and not do a full-on send, and you know they both come a cropper.
I tell you, if Morgan ends up slipping out, he'll go from first all the way back to fourth.
He will straight away. And Luke's looking. He had a moment there. Everybody's got to look forward and backward, even old Daniel Rowe, because Bago Grobler is also certainly not just going to take this lying down. He's going to look for an opportunity. Morgan's very slow through the hairpin. Again, it's a grip issue, but without the weight, he just gets such a good pull out the corners. And Luke is probably hammering his steering wheel, going,
well,
give me more power.
Add something to the mix. At this pace that these guys are doing, these 202s, if Junior continues his pace,
yes,
he's going to be on them for the last lap, which means we're going to have a 5-horse race on the last lap.
Yep, Junior's last lap was a 201, yes. So, all right. He's at the same pace as Daniel Rowe. With that gap, 8 seconds, we'll have to see. Right, here we go. This is where desperation starts to set in for Luke. He starts thinking of all... Oh, he looked. Oh, and Bago's looking as well at Rowe. Rowe's got to watch in his mirrors. Come on, Luke, if you're going to do it, you've got to do something now, buddy. 8 minutes to go. Amsterdam, the YouTube going great racing. It is. This is an awesome dice to watch. Right, into the windies again. I think Luke's going to try and make a plan here now. This lap, I think he's going to try something.
Oh, gets up nice and tight. He decides the S-curves is the place to do it. No, unfortunately unsettled himself slightly in doing that.
He did. Sure, they're all struggling with a bit of aero wash. There's where he gets good drive out of there. Morgan's a little bit out, and Luke's trying to go up the inside here. Can he? He can't. Morgan closes the door, takes the racing line. Now Luke's looking at Degener. He can't, and they go through there. This looks like an opportunity into the hairpin now. Luke looking outside, going around the outside, and Daniel's up the inside. Oh. Luke flashing. He's close now. This is the closest I've seen him go up the back straight. So he's going to carry huge speed through 130R, and he's going to try something into the chicane. He's going left. Morgan goes defensive. Luke's got a break. Morgan's got a bad line through there, and Luke goes around him. That is an awesome move by Luke. Great pass, well thought out, and now Daniel Rowe all over the back of Morgan. Now Luke's got to hammer it. He's got 6 minutes, and he's got to pull away if he can. Wow, that was amazing to watch. Morgan now holding Daniel Rowe, or at least Daniel Rowe looking for a way to attack Morgan. So he's dropped to second, and this is going to give Luke a chance to get a little bit of daylight. And Morgan, at least Daniel knows this. He's got to make a plan quickly.
Absolutely. He's got the speed. Now he's not going to have Morgan holding him back in a lot of these corners. So he's got to try and take advantage of this time that Daniel's now sitting behind Morgan.
Exactly. Excuse me. And there you see Daniel get exactly the same kind of drive. He's positioning himself up the side of the car, and Morgan does manage to go through the normal racing line. Oh, they're all close. They're all close, and Bago's right almost there. They almost will make contact. And yeah, Daniel Rowe's flashing. He knows he's under pressure. He is. He's also now got to work it out. I'll tell you what, Luke did very well to go up the outside of Morgan McCall, which then made Morgan take a very bad line through the chicane, which helped Luke to get the drive, you know?
Absolutely.
He thought that out very well. Let's see if Daniel Rowe's going to do something similar. And as I say that, we've got Bago looking very close now and wanting to attack. Oh, there's a drive-through for Ryan Ottens. So somebody's had one too many off tracks. And while we're talking about this, Luke Addison is vanishing. He's 1.5 seconds up the road, as he should be. And heading for first. And there Morgan runs super wide. And that's allowed both of them to come through. Morgan gives it up. And he's realized he can't hold these guys up anymore. And he's let them go. Ew, that was a pretty nail-biting 5 laps we just watched.
And off Addison goes.
Luke Addison now is heading for the hills and hoping that he can get there. He manages to go past a back marker, so he's got a little bit of a buffer. But his gap is 3 seconds. That back marker just bails out through T2. And through comes Rowe with Bago pushing. So the only next opportunity is if Bago can try and make a last lap dive or maneuver or pass on Rowe. And this is for the the series championship, because also with Luke Addison in position and 5th overall, I don't think he's going to get enough jump up because these guys are 2nd and 3rd, you know. So I think it's going to boil down to between Rowe and Bago Grobler for the championship.
That's it.
Luke will probably end up in 3rd unless somebody, well, mind you, Junior's not too far back in 5th. He's closed that 8-second gap down to 3 seconds, by the way. So he is definitely closing in on his elder brother.
That's it. With that 8 laps to go and gaining basically a second a lap, I think we will definitely see Junior and Morgan going over the finish line together. Who's going to be in front of who knows? We're putting on lots of pressure still on Greiling, been behind him for quite some time. Otten's of course in front of them, having to do his drive through, so that's going to allow quite a few, possibly all the way back to Kleb, to come past him. So Ottens will lose up to about 4 positions, it seems.
Yep, there'll be a couple of position changes and inheriting a position with Ottens getting the drive through. So Greiling in the Merc hanging on, and Kirby in the Honda chasing. You can see Greiling's flashing. He wants to get by.
I think Ottens will probably be going into the pits this time around.
Yeah, let's see as they come through the chicane. And you're right.
He does a quick split.
And off goes Greiling and Gerber. Oh, I think Ottens. I think he hammered that pit stop limiter too late. I think he's going to get another
one.
I think so. He stopped well past the line and realized he had made a mistake. So we'll see now as he exits if it's going to give him another stop go 30 or another penalty. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, speeding in
Showman.
pit lane.
Yeah, he was too late in his brakes and he flew right over the line at the entry to the pits. And now he's seriously cursing in that car. All right, so down to sub-minute 55 seconds, and Luke Addison is out and away by 3.8 seconds from Daniel. Johan hanging on to the back, but he's not going to make any difference here. I think this is done and dusted. I think Daniel's going to take the championship win. I say I think because we'll have to wait and see with the quickest laps and any other things that might affect that position. But what an awesome race to watch tonight. Great dice. 4 cars going for first, second, third, and fourth, Gareth. It was awesome to watch.
Absolutely, quite a couple of little battles throughout the evening, and a lot of consistency. If you see, most of the battles basically transcended across majority of the race.
Yep. Ken A also commenting on the YouTube. Well done to Luke. This is his first season in ACC. He was also, so he performed well. He also raced on our league, on the Sim Race South Africa race, and on Monday, and also did very well there. So definitely a good contender, and people need to watch him. Great car control, being so close under the back of Morgan McCall for so long, and he did the right thing with the contact under braking into the hairpin, or I call it the right thing. Some people would disagree, but that's how we race in that league. And it's, if you made the mistake and he stopped and waited for him to come back, that was well done in my books.
Absolutely, great sportsmanship.
Bago now right there, yeah. Let's see if Bago can get this done. It's all done and dusted. They must be on their last lap anyway. So.
As Luke is heading into his last sections here for his great win.
Exceptional drive tonight. Well done. Really bad luck for Tariq, I must say.
Very unfortunate.
I must have been confused. Tariq saying he didn't run on SISA. I apologize. I'm convinced I saw him. It must have been somebody else. Anyway, through the final chicane and over the line as he goes past, I think that was Dwayne Hall just keeping out the way. And there's a good win. Well done, Luke Addison. Daniel Rowe over the line and Bago right behind him, second and third. So that's some awesome racing for the evening.
Junior not too far behind. Oh, there we go. Sitting with Morgan right behind him. So the result was Junior came across the line first.
Well, in the family first, but fourth
That's
overall.
it. Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff. Awesome to watch. And sure, yes, what an amazing race that was. 4 cars for the last couple of laps. You couldn't tell who was going to win there, and Morgan did his utmost best to hang on to that position, but you could see he was hurting. And Luke, with carrying the extra weight, trying to work out how to make that pass stick. And when he got it done at the chicane, it was an amazing move.
That it was. Luckily, he was patient enough. He did try once or twice. Luckily, it didn't come off too badly. Gave him additional opportunities to strike again. But great handling, great skill from the guys. And, I mean, great defending from Morgan to be able to keep to those lines with what seems to be a fair amount of, I wouldn't say damage to the vehicle, but possibly tyre damage. Great race all round, I think, from everybody.
Agreed. Agreed. It was an awesome race to watch.
And that is it. That then concludes Season 6 of the GT3 Raceface ACC Championships. Heading off to the off-season, so we'll probably kick off again in 4 weeks' time. I know the schedule has been released, so Nürburgring is the first one. So that should be pretty exciting stuff. But for this season, what a season.
has been. Look, I only got the last two, but from what I saw, and the usual culprits all up at the shop end of the stick, with the addition of Mr. Addison and a few others, exceptionally close racing and great dices were had on both Paul Ricard last race and this one.
Definitely been some good quality racing throughout the season. So thanks again, Alan, for joining us in the commentary box this evening. It was fantastic. Again, loved it.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
And thank you to those that hopped on and watched us live again. Ken, thank you for being the statistician once again. I think we need to figure out a more permanent role there for you. Always giving some great stuff during the broadcasts. Thank you very much, guys, and we shall see you next season.
Yes, that's it. Have fun and be safe.
Keep well, guys. Hasta la pasta.
Hasta la pasta. Cheers.